What's up, Owen? How's it going? This is Steven here from Powell's Power-Ups. This is your overview video for the installation on your Heart of Siberia. So here's your box. This is how it'll come back to you. I'll put some bubble wrap in here, obviously. First thing you'll notice out in the bigger inner box, inside the bigger box will be your printed off instructions. So you have a Crystal Focus X inside of your lightsaber. This is instructions that I've typed up that tells you how to operate it. So I think the first 3 or 4 pages is all of the instructions and the functions. And then there's a second set. Yeah, so these first 4 pages are instructions. And then the second set, I have information about all of the customized settings and the configuration that I have put on your Crystal Focus X. I have my own, what I call an SD card package. So it comes with 32 pre-configured blade styles and color profiles. So the blade styles, their descriptions, what they're called, and this is are all listed here, and this is the order that they're in. And then there's also information about the colors that are set up on here. And then a few other notes will be found throughout both sets of paperwork, the instructions and the description about the SD card package. So take some time, read through all of this. These instructions I typed out just kind of for other people who might need them. So there's instructions on here about, placing stuff in your configuration. All of this has already been done for you. So this is instructions kind of geared towards people who don't have my SD card package. But your Saber has been totally configured, pre-configured, everything loaded on it. It's ready to go right out of the box. But this is just extra stuff. So just read through it, take notes. Maybe it'll help you moving forward when you start to do configuration on your own Saber. But we'll go ahead and open up the box now. We'll get down to your Saber. So you got your coin in here still. This is like your collector coin that goes with the Saber. So that's in the box. Then everything else was right here in the Saber. So set this aside. So beautiful paint job there from, I forgot who actually painted these from the Saber Armory. But anyway, I like the fading they did on all the edges here, especially the pommel. Also, I love this gold paint, and then what they did for the damage section here looks really good too. They also took the time to use some brass black and give a weathered oxidized look to the brass in both the crystal chamber and in the blade plug. So those look really great. The heat stain on the blade plug looks phenomenal. And then, yeah, got your 2 switch set up here. This one's power and this one's auxiliary. It can be switched in your configuration if you want to flip-flop those. There's not really a top or a bottom. It's just kind of whichever one you want to be your power and auxiliary. So that's up to you. You can do that in customization. Yeah, the red wire's in there. The handle's on. Everything's nice and tight. Everything's permanent. The only thing that you need to buy, you can order these on Amazon. This is just a really old one I have, but go on Amazon before the Saber gets to you and you need to order a pickle jar opener. They're like these circular rubber grips. Like I said, this is a super old one. It's been been destroyed all the years I've been working on Sabers. But chassis removal, right? We're gonna go over that part next. To get this chassis out, you need to unscrew the bottom, right? Now, there's nothing really to grip here. It's just like smooth metal. It's hard to grip. You don't want to use any tools, obviously, because we don't want to scratch up the metal. So a nice little pickle jar opener will help you grip the bottom of this and unscrew it. If I can get it. There we go. You want to unscrew this red part right here. You do not want to unscrew this handle section. So if it starts to do that, just screw it back on, and you only want to unscrew from the anodized red cap. So you can kind of use your fingers in here to unscrew it. Once you get it going, it'll be easier. Ooh, come on. Yeah, definitely a downside of this hilt. There you go. And that is how you remove your chassis. Okay, so here's your chassis. It is mounted inside of this part. You can see the threading there that screws in and out of the bottom of the hilt. There is a kill switch to turn it on and off. So right above the board is right here. This 3D printed piece, it's actually a cover, is a switch. That's your on and off switch. Okay, I'm gonna cut it back off for now. But down inside here you have your speaker. On the back side here you have your battery. On the top side here we have our stock, removable chassis PCB. Keep in mind, whenever this thing is on and there's a battery inside, there's current running through this, right? So we don't want to touch any of this pad with anything metal at all, because we don't want to short and fry our electronics. That could possibly happen if you touch anything metal there. Keep that in mind too when you're reinserting your chassis into your hilt. You don't want to touch any of this metal right here like that. Don't worry, it's already off. So to get your battery out, you actually have to take the chassis out. So I would say just take your time here. It's really snug. Get a nice firm grasp on the bottom section. Same thing with the top. Carefully, just kind of do like a little twisting motion. I'm twisting back and forth like this, but I'm very gently doing this and just kind of wiggling the chassis out, kind of keeping it all solid and together until it pops out. So you got to do that to be able to get the battery out. So the top side near the pad is the positive side, bottom side is negative near the speaker. You need to just use your fingernail like you see me doing here to kind of pop that positive end out. And then you're going to lift up and out. Don't continue to pull straight out in this direction because this plastic here will break, right? This is a 3D printed FDM plastic chassis. It's not super strong at all. If you put any flexion on this, it'll probably crack and break. So always treat it like it's delicate. But pull that battery out as far as it'll go and then lift it straight up in that direction to remove the battery. And then you can charge it and do whatever you need to do there. If you want to access your CFX SD card, you can just simply put your finger in here by the front of the board, gently lift up, and then that will allow you to get out the SD card and mess with any configuration or blade styles or adding fonts or removing fonts. All that stuff is done that way. If you choose not to lift up the board, you can plug in with a micro USB port, which actually I just realized I'm pretty sure you have to. I don't think there's enough room in this chassis to leave the board down the whole time. I'm trying to get this SD card back in. Always be careful with this. Never force anything. Always be gentle with everything. Wiggle wobble, just tinker with it. Don't be forceful. And then you're gonna set the chassis back down in its little notch there. You can see the little cutout notch where the CFX sits down. Yeah, you want to make sure it's sitting down in there nice and flush like you see here. You do not want to insert it with it sticking up at all. You want to make sure it's all the way down. Yeah, like I said, kill switch is here to turn it on and off. Speaker is down at the bottom, 28mm, it's glued in place. Sounds pretty good. Make sure you do not poke it with your fingers at all. Always be mindful of that. You could damage your speaker if you do that. Battery section we talked about. The little tab side here towards the speaker is negative, and the positive side is always the button side tab. You can see the red wire in there, red indicating positive. The wires you see here are fine, just keep them in the channels. That's just like a hollow section inside the chassis where the wires are running from back and forth up and down the hilt. So just leave those tucked in. Yeah, we'll put a battery in now. I'll show you how to do all that. It'll be in whenever you get it. I'll show you what I'm talking about once I get it all put together, but the battery will be inside. You can actually use the kill switch, turn the Saber on and off while everything's inserted. You can do it externally from the outside of the hilt, so that's pretty nice. So yeah, insert at this angle, negative end goes first, and then we just push that positive side in until it snaps. You don't need to turn it on yet, so we're just going to turn it off. And we're going to insert the chassis into the bottom piece here. Now this is really snug, so take some time, and I'm just kind of wiggling, just slightly applying pressure, just kind of working it in until it goes all the way. So it feels like it's in there all the way. And then you can make sure that your kill switch is centered on one of these little windows. Then you can use your fingernail to turn it on and off. Go back and forth and test it out. Make sure you got it right where you want it. All right, we're gonna turn it off now. So we're gonna reinsert the chassis. It's off, but I'm still being mindful of that metal pad. The spring the PCB pin side of the PCB set is down inside the hilt there. That's what this pad is connecting with. So all of this is permanent. None of this ever changes or moves. The window obviously opens and closes, but that's it. So we're gonna insert this. We're gonna use that pickle jar opener. We're gonna push down and we're gonna thread this back in until it's nice and tight. And then we're good to go. We can flip it on and off from the outside. So we just gotta find which one it is. I think it's this one right here. Yeah. Now this orientation might change depending on the clocking of when you're taking the chassis in and out of this bottom piece. So it might not always be in this location, it may move. Anyway, this is on and off, so off, on. So you have, this Saber came with an Echo, the Echo stock version 2 or 3 NPXL connector. The Echo version doesn't allow you to have an independent blade style on the pixels that are on the PCB. So they're just gonna mirror the blade style, which obviously the blade is off right now, so they're not gonna illuminate. They will illuminate once we kick it on, once we ignite, because they just mirror the blade style of the actual blade. Now, the pixel that sits underneath the actual crystal is wired to be, it's on the same data line, but it's wired to be an accent pixel, so I can control it. You can control it while the blade is off. The crystal is separate from the blade. You can make it, adjust the settings and the configuration, which I've already done for you, to make it pulse here while the blade is off, and then whenever the blade kicks on, it just mirrors the blade style, which right now is just a flicker. Yeah, so this one you can customize to do pretty much whatever. You can see it from the front and the damage section in the back. So yeah, power is the left one, auxiliary is the right, blaster deflection, lockup, you can hold it. Yeah, turn it on and off that way. You also have motion controls I've programmed in here. Just like the Profi board, you can twist on and off. So there's on. You gotta find just the right speed so it's not too fast. Or I guess it is fast. But it's not too slow either. I guess it works both ways. It just needs to feel that back and forth motion, so that was obviously too slow there. There, that was better. So we got that on there for you. I'm gonna put in a blade now, do a little demonstration with the blade. All right, so I got a blade put in it now. Let me kill this light just to demonstrate that it works. So when you hit the auxiliary button, whenever the blade is off, you get a battery level indicator. So it's just about 30 pixels high, but you're gonna get the little flashes where your battery is, okay? Green, it means you're still, fully charged. Yellow, it'll go down like this. Yellow will mean half battery. Red will mean your battery's dead and dying. You can click the auxiliary to turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, and then power. So there's just a red flicker blade. You got your clashing, blaster deflection, lockup, you got stabbing, You got tip drag. You got force effects.
For your sake, I suggest you get it.
So I have tons of Kylo Ren quotes on the force effects for all three of the Kylo fonts I put on here. So I took K-Sith Crossguard and built a TFA and a Tross font. So there's two, and then the third one is Kyberphonics Unstable version 1. So I've went through and kind of customized them to my liking, just including as many different power-on sounds and quotes and things like that as I could. But yeah, so those fonts are on there, plus you have like 16 other like base fonts that just come with the CFX on there. They're maybe I'll demo one here in a minute with the blades with the CFX, but first I want to show you some effects on the blade. So with your aux you can twist and go into spectrum. This allows you to rotate the hilt and change colors of the blade. Your pixel will mimic whatever your blade color is. It's going to match. Right now that's the way I have it programmed for you. But once you select the color, this is just the first layer. We want to go into the second layer and change the effects. So I'm going to hold down the auxiliary now to lock in this color and transition to the second layer.
Blade profiles.
And as you can see, or here, it said blade profile. So now I can rotate just like I did with the colors and change blade styles. So here's like a pulsing, kind of unstable plasma one. I don't remember the names of them all, but you can refer to your list. But they rotate 1 all the way through 32 and then back around to 1 again. So let's find like a Kylo style here. That's a pretty aggressive flicker there. Ooh, there's a good Kylo style. I like that one too. Let's go with that one. Now you can hold it and go back to the colors, and if you want to change colors, you can do that and keep that blade style. But I want red because this is Kylo. And then yeah, you'll have different effects with this one. There you go, that's more Kylo. Yeah. Anyway, I'll do a different font. So that's the Kylo fonts. There's 3 of them. We'll go to the... Oh, that's the background music. It does that too. So, getting my buttons mixed up.
Sound bank selection.
Here we go. So there's the TFA. Oh, I gotta hit the buttons. Tross. Unstable. And then your other CFX fonts.
Crystal focus. Crystal focus.
Nebula.
Green.
So we'll try HOS. So this is just a font that comes on there. It's free. Change the color. Sounds like a blue font. There we go. So that's just another font that comes on there, and as you can see, your crystal will mimic whatever your blade color is. But you can change that if you want to in the settings. You can make it do all kinds of different things because it's a pixel. Let's go. It's hard to remember which one's power and which one's auxiliary.
Sound bank selection.
Youngling.
This is General Kenobi.
Ancient. Audio player. SD card. You at system menu. Exit menu.
Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren.
Unstable. So it just has the red flicker, but we're gonna change that. We'll keep it red.
Blade profiles.
Let's pick a different one. Something close to what we had earlier. Oh, that's a pretty cool one there. Yeah, look at that. All right, man. So there it is. I gave you a pretty full demonstration there. I'll get it dusted off and get it all packed up in the box, and I'll probably have it shipped out to you tomorrow. But anyway, thank you for choosing me to do your install. I appreciate working on your Saber. This is pretty fun stuff for me. This is actually, you're lucky. This is actually one of my favorite hilts. I still have one of these for myself that I haven't installed yet because I got some big plans for it. But yeah, man, this one's a solid one here. Good clean install, good solid hilt. Hope you enjoy it, man. Thanks for choosing me. May the force be with you.